Hey there everybody, it's time once again for another Kopika end of the month video. This time we're at the end of February, which is one of the shortest months in the entire year. And let's see, what really happened during this February? Well, the Nintendo Direct ended up happening within the second week of October. Wow, alright, cool. I'm gonna mess it up. This is not scripted, as you can obviously tell. But then again, I always usually flow up my words. Moving on back to what I just made a mistake. In February, we ended up having ourselves a Nintendo Direct, and it ended up showing up some very interesting games. More so, it was kind of more so catering to the JRPG fan base. But they did end up giving us a new Mario Strikers game, which has been on the level of people wanting that series back, because, you know, we've had plenty of sports games, and a lot of the sports games that they kind of have been focusing on has been tennis and golf. So it's kind of nice to see Strikers again, even though the last game it was on the Wii, so I guess it wasn't really too bad. It would have been nice to have something on the Wii U, but thank God the Next Level Games is doing another Strikers game, so that's going to be interesting. It has a lot of features that I'm wholeheartedly looking forward to utilize on stream purposes. But moving past that, we got ourselves another big one, apparently Live Alive, which is essentially a game that was never released in the West. It was only Japanese only. I'm looking forward to that, to seeing how that game ends up playing out. Considering the fact, the way how it looks, it seems like you basically take on roles of different types of stories, and you know, you kind of just run with that, which I don't really mind. It kind of gives you like a JRPG version of Sonic Adventure, and I know Octopath did this too, but I still haven't played Octopath. I don't know, maybe I should at some point. That is a JRPG game that is also under the radar at some point. Chrono Cross was introduced again, and this was one that I was truly excited for, mainly because of the fact that Chrono Cross hasn't received like anything, like it hasn't received any sort of re-release like at all. So the fact that it's coming back is incredible. Well, not really coming back per se, more like it's showing, they're bringing it back in a new form, sort of. This time, they have some quality of life choices that, well, changes that allow the player to be able to end up enjoying whatever they have to offer. So there's that as well. So I'm looking forward to whatever they end up showcasing in that sort of regard, because that's gonna be that's actually gonna be pretty fun in itself. Like, no lie, that's actually gonna be really exciting to do. Obviously they showcase Kirby. And they also showcased a new Wii Sports kind of game that they are introducing, which is something that I'm looking forward to if I ever get the chance of playing it. Problem is, I'm gonna need better Joy-Cons, because it's gonna drift, guys. Like, it's gonna drift, so you kind of need probably like better Joy-Cons, because I don't know, it doesn't really feel like a game that should be played with a Pro Controller. You can play with a Pro Controller. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm not sure if you could, but you know, Nintendo Switch Sports, that's gonna be an interesting game to play with friends online and whatnot. Like I said, just truly glad that most of their games are gonna be online. There's obviously the Cuphead DLC that's coming out eventually. I'm looking forward to that. And one of the weirdest things that they decided to do is to not kill off Mario Kart 8. So that prediction video I said, you know, with the prediction video, Mario Kart 9. Yeah, that's not that's kind of in the trash right now. So so Mario Kart 8 decided to get 48 or 45 or a lot of new tracks. Apparently, most of these tracks are going to be from Tour. That's the reason why, if you kind of look at the trailer just a little tiny bit, the thing is that it looks weird, because the graphics looks completely different from what the original Mario Kart, well, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe looks like. Like, I'm not sure if that's really the case. I get they just look like Tour models to me, but there's really nothing wrong with that per se. I guess. I know they're not going to really put any new items. I kind of wish they put new characters, but we don't know. We don't really fully know what they're going to really do for this, to be honest. Fire Emblem, it ended up getting itself another Warriors game, which is pretty nice for those who like the first Fire Emblem Warriors game. Splatoon 3, which is showcasing a new Salmon Run event game that you can do, which is basically allowing you to do some basketball nonsense and you're fighting some weird Godzilla thing. So looking forward to that as well, because, you know, I didn't really bother to pick up Splatoon 2 when it was out, because it didn't really interest me that much, so that's unfortunate. What else happened during this month? Oh, right, I guess I should mention, since I finished the Alabaster arc of One Piece, I am trying to get to episode 200, but currently I'm now in the Sky Arc, I guess it's called, the Sky Arc arc. The Sky Arc arc, it's probably not what it's really called. I think it's called the Sky Plea. Yeah, Sky Plea, that's what it's called. So essentially it's like them on an island in the sky, which is pretty cool, because essentially it's like, hey, it's Kid Icarus in JRPG form, which I find hilarious. The one detail that I do like about the arcs is that whenever they are starting up, there's like always a narrator giving you the 411 as to what the characters are doing and what they dealt with in the previous episode. Because they did this with Alabaster, and I like that, because I'm not sure if they do that for all the arcs. So far, I only see it twice, so I don't know if they do that for any of the other arcs. It'd be nice detail to keep if they decide to do that for all the other arcs. So that's interesting. Other than that, I finally had the chance of playing Pokemon Legends, which is pretty nice game, I might say. There's some graphical issues here and there and whatnot, but what are you gonna do? That doesn't impede my progress in my enjoyment of the game. The game is fantastic. Like, it is a Pokemon game that I legit always wanted to play. To be able to just roam around in whatever nonsensical field and just catching Pokemon without the need of finding random battles and learning the history and the ancestry of the characters that you meet in the other generation games. It's really cool. Like, I'm really hoping that they give us DLC, because they did it for Pokemon Sword and Shield with both the Island Armor, Island of Tundra, and they also gave us a bit of DLC for New Snap as well. So I'm just really, really hoping that they give us DLC for Legends, because I think it well deserves it, considering the fact that you can have the ability of creating new areas, considering, like, if it's taking things from, like, Monster Hunter, we're not really taking things, basically taking inspiration from Monster Hunter. I feel like with how Monster Hunter does its expansions, where they kind of send you off into a new island or whatever, they could do that for Pokemon. Hell, if you really want to. Well, then again, you can't really do that, because you call it Pokemon Legend of Arceus. At some point, if you decide to do such a thing, it would be kind of weird to just go into the Johto side of things, where it's no longer just called Pokemon Legend of Arceus, it's called Pokemon Legends Arceus and Celebi. I was talking to this about in my stream at one point, where we were thinking like, oh, what will the Johto and Kanto variation of Pokemon Legends will be? Mainly Johto, not really much Kanto, because just because Kanto's in Johto doesn't mean that's part of it in anything. But yeah, like the Johto part will be like Pokemon Legends of Celebi or something. Because the reason why I say this is Celebi doesn't really get much love. It's an event that you can completely miss if you never went to your local Toys R Us store, which doesn't exist anymore, or any store in general, to be able to get the item to be able to call Celebi or do the Celebi event in general in both Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and also in the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal. So it would be nice if they gave us like the history of Johto itself, because theoretically they could do that, because you have to realize, like, the 3 legendary dogs are supposedly supposed to be based off of the 3 evolutions of Eevee. Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon. Essentially, it's like, oh, the 3 dogs that were those 3 evolutions died in the tower or whatever, and then they became the 3 legendary dogs. Like, it will be interesting to see how their take on that would be, because I feel they can do it. Like, if they're doing like a little bit of a history with Arceus, making it more important than how it was in both Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or Diamond and Pearl and Platinum in itself, it would be nice to see what they do with that Pokemon in general. Like, I haven't reached the end of Legends, so I can't really tell or say if, oh, okay, this is a full idea I think that they could do, but I can sort of safely say whatever ends up happening in Legends at the end of it, I feel that they could probably do it with a sequel. It needs a sequel, because this I feel is a good way of how Pokemon can be in terms of learning the lore and the history and how the world building acts. Like, it's so cool to see areas before they become cityscapes. Like, it's really, really nice to see. It's obviously, you know, you literally go into the past and you're seeing the history of Sinnoh and how they used to be before they had, like, you know, the legendary Pokemons of Dialga and Palkia, or the fact of how, you know, the plates and how they come into play, or how Pokeballs used to be before they became just the strict terms of Pokeball, Great Ball, and Ultra Balls. Like, mind you, those are still in the game, but I'm interested to see if they kind of give us like a showcase of the Master Ball. I'm pretty sure there probably is a Master Ball in the game. Don't tell me, please. Like, this is not invitation to say, oh yeah, there's a Master Ball in the game. No, I don't want to know that. I haven't, like, the only trailer I've seen is just the first one. Just giving you a 411 on that. I've only seen the first one. If you say that there's a Master Ball in the comments, I'm gonna delete it. So I'm just gonna instant delete. Nah, I'm sorry. But that's really it. That's all I can really say. I do have 2 games, one that I bought from myself and one that I got from a good friend of mine. So maybe at some point we'll get to play those as well on, like, probably next month. I don't know. I don't really know how long Legends will be, considering the fact there's so much that you can do in the game. And I'm just enjoying it from start to finish that I don't want to put it down. At some point, I kind of want to try to do like a little bit of a challenge run. Not a Nuzlocke run, because the game is a bit difficult. And there's a lot of times where they kind of one-shot you. But I should probably, like, stop talking about Legends and kind of wait until I do, like, a bit of a review of it. So, you know, you're gonna look forward to that. Yeah, I know, the first Pokemon video is gonna be Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's not gonna even be friggin' red, blue, and yellow. Nah, man, you going for the big one already. It's like, okay. But anyways, that's it. I think that is really it. I guess the only thing I can mention is that I watched 2 episodes of The Louder and Prouder, and I've also watched Smiling Friends as well. I guess I should talk about those 2. I'm not gonna showcase clips of those. I'm just gonna, like, plaster, like, their picture, because I don't know if, you know, you get in trouble for doing that, so I don't want to get in trouble. So, Louder and Prouder, for the 2 episodes I've seen, I do like the characters still sticking with how they are from the original, but then again, it also has been a minute since I've seen the original. But I could end up safely saying that the way how they're probably doing the shows, are they're trying to probably take it a little bit of a mature turn, so that way they can, you know, I guess showcase certain issues here and there, like how they did with the original. I'm hoping that the characters don't end up being complete assholes towards each other, like how they were in the original. Because in the original, they're kind of assholes. Like, it almost felt like they didn't like each other if they were even friends to begin with. So I kind of hope that they change that. Smiling Friends. Oh, that show is hilarious. Like, from the first episode all the way to the 8th episode, because there's only 8 episodes so far until they did get greenlit for a second season. But Smiling Friends is amazing. Like, it's a funny show. To me, it feels like a much better adult show than, you know, South Park. Like, I could get into South Park, and for those who can, I kudos to you. You guys are amazing to get into that series. I cannot get into that cartoon at all. It's not for me at all. I have watched bit of Rick and Morty, but I haven't watched BoJack Horseman. I heard I heard BoJack Horseman was also pretty good too, and I also heard that Rick and Morty is also pretty good. There's probably some ups and downs with that show as well, but with those three shows, the people kind of end up like comparing Spawn and Friends to both Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman. Even though maybe there have been like some serious sort of moments in the show, like they probably have been. I'm really bad at seeing serious moments. I'm gonna be real with you. So if I don't see it, I apologize unless somebody points it out. But even if you do point it out, I don't know. I usually kind of feel that, it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I get the message that they're trying to bring with that sort of speech and everything. But I don't know. I don't really think that's what they're kind of going for those kind of things. But you never know. Sometimes they do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever the second season comes out with. It's funny, like, people say the similarities is obviously Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman, but what I tend to feel is that Smiley Friends, to me, feels like an adult version of Regular Show. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I love Regular Show, and, I love the dynamic. It kind of feels like if Regular Show had no restrictions, even though most of the time some of the episodes kind of feel a little bit weird, because it kind of feels like, this shouldn't be in a Cartoon Network kids area, but hey, whatever, you do you, I guess. So, yeah, there's that, and that's really it. That's really all I got for this month, unless there's something I'm missing. Not entirely sure if I'm missing anything. All I do know is that I'm looking forward to playing Chrono Cross again, because, I want to replay that game again. Like, I really do. The only time I played it was twice, off of the PSP and off of the PlayStation when I did the LP of that from way long ago. Like, holy crap. So I'm looking forward to replaying that game again. Oh, wow. You know what? I'm slow. I'm sorry. I must have completely forgot. Xenoblade 3. So, that just dropped during that direct. I completely forgot about Xenoblade 3, if I'm being honest. Mainly because it's coming out in September, so that's like way in the back of my head right now, but it did show it up in the direct, and I am looking forward to it. There's a lot of theories being thrown out there, so I personally don't really want to listen to those theories. They're interesting, don't get me wrong, but I'm just gonna wait and see what the game has. My only theory that I probably have with this is that both Nia and Melia are probably going to be at war, but at some point down the road, some bigger, badder villain is going to show up and try to stop them. Either that, or it's going to play a straight war type of setting, because I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. Because thinking on it now, the only game that did the whole sort of war setting was only, I want to say, X. Because X, I kind of felt like, it was the humans versus the ganglions, and they were kind of trying to stop them from doing whatever in that sort of scenario. So that's the only thing I can think of. Because Xenoblade 1, there was a war between the Hulms and the Mechonis, but that also got squashed when the bigger, badder villain showed up. And you can also say the same thing happened with Xenoblade 2, where theoretically there wasn't a war per se. Like, there was no actual war, unless you're playing the Torna Golden Country, where there was a war between, in that one, where it was basically just Mallows being an asshole, but then again, he was also doing that anyways, even in the base game, so it didn't matter. So I don't know, like, I feel that with this one, they kind of showed, like, the war setting that it's gonna be having in Xenoblade 3, and obviously they said that the flute has something important in the story, so I don't know what that's gonna be about. I'm looking forward to seeing what they end up showcasing. The only thing I am hoping for is that hopefully the battle system's a little bit more understandable. Because no offense, Xenoblade 2, they simplified it, yes, to a certain extent, but they also had very bad tutorial message that's just bad. Like, it didn't explain much of anything. 1 was simplified, like, you know, there wasn't a lot of buttons in 2, but 1 had a lot of few buttons that you just had to press and whatever. But the battle was more simplified. Unless you're playing Xenoblade X and then you're like, I don't know what to do with 90% of what's on screen right now. So I'm hoping for 3. I mean, who knows? 3 might not even, well, no, I wouldn't think they would straight up change 3's combat to be a straight up action RPG, because I don't know, that wouldn't feel right unless they make it like your auto attacks don't do a lot of damage, unless, you know, there's like a way of augmenting your auto attacks to do a lot of damage anyways, but you have the capabilities of just like pressing a button to do a move. Mind you, saying it like that kind of doesn't really feel that different compared to Xenoblade 1 and 2, because theoretically that is essentially what you're doing. You have your auto attack doing this auto attack shenanigans, but I guess, like, you know, you have a little bit more movement and chances to avoid attacks on your own. So if you get hit, that's your fault, but your AI sucks and they still get hit regardless. I don't know, I doubt they'll change that, because if they didn't change it for 1, if they didn't change it for X and 2, why would they change it for 3? It'd be really weird. I know they'll probably have like one more trailer that explains what the battle system is like. Hopefully, they can explain it a little bit better for when it comes out. We don't have to go and look at a giant ass tutorial message that probably says nothing. So yeah, damn, I was trying to make sure that this didn't become a 20-minute video. Ugh, great. Anyways, that is the end of February. I have nothing else to really talk about. I'm doing good with One Piece. I am hoping that everybody's doing all right. And yeah, I'll see you guys for another video of our end of the month video. And I hope you guys are looking forward to whatever ends up coming in March. You guys have yourselves a wonderful time and a wonderful day. And have a good one. Laters.